Jeff Rowe from Two Hacks Garage. You guessed it. You know where I'm at, and you know we've lost our minds. Yep, back at Jimmy's, Jumping Jack Flash, Nostalgia Front Engine Dragster. It's Friday afternoon. It's pouring down rain out, and I just got done working. Jimmy's been working on the dragster all day, making a lot of strides. If you saw in the last video, we got the Neal & Parks custom front axle put on, got the right angle on there. Jimmy and I were playing out some of the steering, and then we were showing you some of that cowl work that we didn't get finished up, but we have planned to. I get here, and Jimmy's got the steering almost completely done. I'm going to show that to you in a minute, but we're making a lot of headway, and I guarantee this weekend it's going to be one of those weekends where we do a whole lot more. Jimmy doesn't have his lucky hat on yet. I've got my other lucky shirt on. Abe Froman, if you know, you know. He's actually the nickname driver of this dragster. That's how you can tell I lost my mind.
Kind of hard to wear my hat and a welding helmet.
Yeah, kind of hard to wear his hat and a welding helmet. He's working on some stuff. I'm going to show you after he gets done welding, so I don't blind your eyes of what he's got.
If I burn myself,
What he's got going on. But we're going to make a lot of strides this weekend. Like I said, it's going to be done this weekend. The panels, the cowl, the steering, all that's going to be done. We're going to have this thing ready to go get blasted and get everything painted. Fast Eddie, my friend that works up at Kyle's Hack Shack, he's going to be the one doing the paint work and all that fun jazz.
if I don't get this thing done this weekend, my wife's going to throw me out of the house or murder him, one or the other.
Yeah, so we got to get it done so Jimmy's not thrown to the streets and I'm not put 6 feet under by his wife. She can be a real handful at sometimes, but we're making a lot of headway, guys. We both lost our minds. We found it, but you know what? It's going to end up being one of those weekends where we just get a lot of stuff done. We'll explain some things as we go along, but our primary focus is just getting it done. So with that, guys, let me show you what we got going on. See you in a second. Okay, so after you saw Jimmy just weld that, the steering wheel, well, steering bat wing is going to go here. But as we showed you, we made all the steering bracketry up here. I've got the old SPE funny car style gearing box. And like I said, outside the body panel, you have the arm that goes down. What Jimmy's been working on is building the steering rod itself. It uses 3/8 by 24 heim joints. It's fully adjustable. Comes down to the frame here. And it comes into another heim joint here. And what he did was that piece he just tacked in there. We're going to make, it's a steering shaft rod support. So it's going to be round. It's going to have a hole a little bit bigger than the diameter of this with Teflon pinched in there. And that just allows it to slide back and forth as the steering comes up here. So it doesn't squeal and bind. So this is where we're at. Front axle's on. It's the correct angle, and as you see, what Jimmy did was we mocked up the axle spindles on there, and our steering rod, if you look here, it goes there. When that moves back and forth, that's going to push this back and forth, and then just like a regular straight axle vehicle, you got the heim joints connected on this rod here. That's going to give it steering this way. So it's kind of triangulated. I'm probably butchering those terms. But he's been busting his butt today to get that done. We got to make that mount that's going to go right there to tie all that together. So I'll actually have steering. From there, what we were doing yesterday, showing in the time-lapse video of measuring stuff out, we've got to build our radius rods. And the reason we did the steering first is because our radius rods are going to come off here about 24, 26 inches, and they're going to come to here. However, if you notice how everything's tight in here, we got to make sure those are going to clear. I'll get a better view of that here in a second. So if you look here from this angle, you see where the steering shaft is right there, the steering rod right there. Well, a radius rod, it's going to come up and it's got to come and tie into the axle somewhere in here. That's just for support. That's for rigidity. That's to keep everything nice and straight and square with the world. I'm rambling. You know what Jimmy's doing. He's working. Better get back at it because we got a whole lot of work to accomplish in the next few days to, get this wrapped up so we can get it painted so we can find our minds again. With that, see you in a few. All right, so there is the steering rod support. Jimmy made it out of aluminum, and in the center there is some Teflon in there. And basically what that does, that allows the steering rod to have support and, you know, ride along a bushing instead of metal. What I'm going to have Jimmy do real quick is I'm going to have him turn the steering. So you see how that's turning? Keep turning it, Jimmy.
That's it.
No, keep turning it. I'll show them on video how it goes.
I know. I want to make sure how things are tracking up here.
So what happens is when you turn the steering wheel, pushes in and out, just like that, and it comes along here. If you look here, that's a pretty cool design. That support's pretty good.
Good boy.
And so if you watch here, it all starts back here. See how that rod goes back and forth when the steering wheel turns? And all it does is push front to back.
Kind of reminds you of something else, right?
And then it turns that right there. So that's that. On to the next step.
Kind of reminds
All right. Well, Jimmy and I got the steering done. Works out really quite nicely. So I turn that bat wing, that rod goes back and forth, hits right here, pushes across. As you can see, well, we have it taken off for now. I'm going to end the video here. Why? Well, I don't want to make 30-minute long videos, to be honest with you. But we're just taking a break right now. Jimmy's going to go inside, eat some breakfast, and I'm going to do some research. But what we got working on now is the radius rods. We went ahead and got the tabs welded on for that there. And what happens is, you know, this thing flexes and moves around. You actually have a rod that goes from the axle to the chassis to help keep things nice and rigid, but still allow for flexibility. So that's what we're planning on now. Yeah, guys, this is progress. We're doing good. We're finding our minds. It is a lot of work. It's Saturday morning. We've got 2 days, crunch time to get all this done, including the radius rods, anything that we might have missed on here, and we still got to finish up that cowl. So, you know what, guys? We're getting there. Jumping jack flash, it's really coming along nicely. I'm really digging the progress. This is the old school way, how to make things. Jimmy's been doing this for a long time. Not much different than they did it back then. Really awesome. See you in the next one.